This is Still a Part of Us, a podcast where moms and dads share the story of their child who was stillborn or who died in infancy. I'm Lee Red, and in this episode of Advice and Encouragement from a Lost Dad, I chat with Adam, whose daughter Paige was stillborn at 36 weeks due to a placental abruption and HELLP syndrome. You can listen to Adam's birth story and his wife Liza's on episode 52 and 54. Today, Adam and I talk about how it is always good to find somebody to talk to, be it a friend, be it a relative, but we also talked about the importance of finding a therapist if you can. And then Adam also talks about how try to find something or someone that helps bring happiness into your life. As a word of caution to our listeners, this discussion contains emotional triggers of stillbirth and infant loss. Please keep yourself emotionally and mentally healthy and seek help if needed. I hope this helps somebody out there. Thank you again, Adam, for coming on and talking with us. And now that we're going to be starting this advice episode, tell us something that you would like to pass on to other people who could be experiencing a loss like yours and your daughter Paige, the loss of your daughter Paige.
Sure. Thanks again for having me. I think for me, the most helpful thing that we did was talking to people about this. We had a lot of friends that we were able to confide in and have conversations with and talk about our daughter and how we were feeling. We could be very open and honest with them. But I think furthermore, the most helpful part was talking with our therapists about it. We were able to dig into the details. We were able to just kind of let everything come out and discuss everything. And it was helpful having kind of like an unbiased person who wasn't trying to just throw words at you to make you feel better. They were really trying to help you work through the issues and try and find some sort of peace with what happened to our daughter. I think a lot of people mean well, and a lot of people want to help you, especially some of your close friends and family. But I would just kind of let people know they're going to say things that they might think are helpful, and they don't really come across that way. Kind of like well, you can try again, or you can, at least you have your son. So I think you have to kind of be prepared for some of that stuff to come out because you never know when it's going to happen. And for us, it was knowing that they were going to say things like that and knowing that it's really coming from a good place. And they're really trying to just help you get through something that they can't relate to. I would say in general, I think our society is not very knowledgeable as far as child loss and stillbirth. And we've since come to find out there are quite a few groups and families, I'll call them, that help each other through it. My wife joined a support group with people in a completely different state, complete strangers that she had no information on whatsoever, and now they're really close friends. So I would definitely advise you to try and find whatever it is that makes you happy, whoever you feel comfortable with. If it's a support group, great. If it's a therapist, great. If it's a close friend. But I think it's really important to keep the memory of your child alive and talk about your child all the time because they're your family.
Do you have any momentums that you keep around that remind you of your daughter Paige?
Yeah. We do. So we actually we debated this for quite some time because of our son, and we weren't sure what kind of questions he was going to come up with. But we do have a picture of her hanging up on our family wall next to a picture of our son and what will eventually be a picture of our newest daughter. So we have her displayed up there. We also have, my wife was able to make hand and footprint kind of symbols, I guess I'll call them, and she put them in a frame, and we have them hung up on what is kind of sadly like our shelf of people who have passed and dogs who have passed, but we do have it displayed in our living room, so we can just kind of look up there at any point in time, just kind of remember. And, just little things around the house that remind us of her, even if it's something as simple as like the letter P hanging on the wall. So we definitely have some things that keep bringing us back and, keep her fresh in our memory.
Well, wonderful. Is there any other advice that you would like to admonish or warn against, or?
Yeah, I think really the biggest piece of advice I can give is, while this is not talked about a lot, I think it's really important to remember that you're not alone in this. There are people out there who can help. There are people out there who can relate and give you advice and help you get through it. I think that's ultimately how my wife was able to find you guys in this podcast. I feel like the people that have gone through it want to share and they want to help out other people. And we've said that from day one. So I'm glad that we were given this opportunity, because even if telling our story helps one person, it's completely worth it. So I would definitely advise people to reach out and, do a simple Google search. You can find thousands of people that have gone through this. So there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. You just unfortunately were dealt a bad hand. I think you have two choices. You can either get up and try and help yourself get through it, or you don't. Um, I would just advise people that you can recover from it and you can feel good again. You can get back to some form of normal, albeit a different form, but you can get through it.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you, to your wife, to your family. And we are, like you said, it's a new type of normal that we are hoping all to achieve. So thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Again, I would like to thank Adam for coming on the podcast and opening up about his daughter Paige and the experience that he and his wife had, and how he had almost lost his wife as well as his daughter. Thank you so much, Adam. We would also like to inform you that one of our other guests, Georgette, whose episode was 21 and 22, is doing another storytelling online on October 24th. You can find more details about that at www.standinginfaithnow.com. If you are interested, head over to that website. There you will find more information. Head over to our website, stillapartofus.com. There you could find the show notes, including a full transcript of this interview and any resources that were mentioned. There you could sign up for a short and helpful email newsletter. There you can learn how to become a patron and support the work it takes to produce this show. And lastly, there you could find out how to get in touch with us if you would like to share your child's story on the show. The show was produced and edited by Winter and Lee Red. Thanks to Josh Woodward for letting us use his song, Vanishing Note. You can find him at joshwoodward.com. Lastly, subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend that might need it. And tell them to subscribe. Why? Because people need to know that even though our children are no longer with us, they are still a part of us. The only reason some people get lost in thought is because it's unfamiliar territory. Paul Fix.